Yo, Raw Sports Radio. We back with another one. Got to hit it off with this NFL draft. It's gonna be an interesting one this year, man. A lot of top heavy at the quarterback position. I'm here, man, with my guy, man, the Big A, Aspen. You already know. Man, I'm Super Dave. We're gonna get into this draft, man. We're gonna get into it, man. So, man, number one overall. Who we got number one overall?
Man, it's a good question,
Who's
man.
going first? Is that the Carolina Panthers going over number one? Who's picking number two and who's picking number three? Can you fill the fans in on that?
It's a lot. I mean, it's a lot to look
Nah, I'm
at.
talking far as teams. Which teams?
That's what I mean. That's what talking about. It's a lot, you know what I'm saying? Because from what I've been looking at,
Oh,
I've been reading a lot, seeing a lot, and it's possible,
a lot of
Carolina
trades.
they could trade down. You know what I mean? The thing
Yeah.
is,
So right now the Carolina Panthers, they number one as of right now, right? So
yeah, they're number one as of right now. They got the number one pick. It sounds like they're gonna go with Bryce Young. That's the overall sentiment.
we gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that. But who's picking at number two and three? Fill me in on those spots and four and five is while you're at it.
Okay. Well, I ain't got my stuff right in front of me right at this moment. But I think the two we got Cardinals over there.
Oh, that's number three. That's my team.
Oh,
But we got number two. We got Houston Texans and number three
that's right.
Arizona Cardinals. Yeah,
That's
and then
right.
we got Indianapolis at four and Seattle at five, man. But as far as the Carolina, because I know you're a Carolina guy, so man, we're gonna get
Right.
to that. Carolina last season, man, was 26 in offense, man. Team offense, that's trash, bro. That's trash. But 26 in passing in yards per game, at 176 yards. I mean, and then it was what 20th in points. They only average it was able to put up like what 20 points a game. But the positive thing is the rushing game. It was 10th. They had Miles Sanders back there in the backfield.
No,
Uh,
no. Not you talking about Carolina?
Carolina.
Yeah, we just got Miles Sanders this
They just
offseason.
got Miles Sanders in the offense. My correction, my fault.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Last
All
year,
right. And y'all brought over Andy Dalton too, right?
yeah, yeah, we got him on the offseason this year.
Okay, okay. Yeah, 2-year deal, so you can tell they're not planning on going forward with him. They look for he's just a
Just it's
plug in
just
right
just
now.
just a little patch pretty much, you know what I'm saying? But from what it looks like, you know what I'm saying, he might get a chance to crack, you know what I'm saying? It really all depends on who's selected with that number one pick and if they stay at that number one pick, because, you know, if, what I've seen, if things stick, you know, they could possibly just move down a little bit, get a little bit of extra trading caliber, and still get a good quarterback in that top four. You know what I mean? So, it's very interesting. Man. It's very interesting in draft.
All right. So man, who if you were the general manager, and I don't know who your general manager is. I know Dave Gettleman used to be back in the day, but I don't know
We
who
got
y'all
we got
current.
we got Scott we got Scott Fitter now. He's the general manager.
Okay, so if you was in Scott Fiddle, shoes, who would you take a look at? Or matter of fact, go as far as who would you draft at that number one spot, and would you trade down and look at another
You know,
quarterback? Because obviously y'all hurting at the quarterback position, so I'm gonna go and jump the gun and say it's quarterback.
yeah, I mean, from the outside looking in, most people assume we hurting at the quarterback spot. But I think, even in Carolina with the brass themselves, they got a piece in Matt Carroll that I think that a lot of people have overlooked, and he hasn't even gotten his fair shake just because of the previous regime and how things, caked up. But at the end of the day, to answer your question, if I'm GM and I'm Scott Fitter and I'm looking at this year's draft, which I'm sure, those individuals inside of that organization, they've already did a good job of analyzing. the prospects, in this year's draft. And they got some good talent to look at. But if I'm Scott Fitter, I'm going to go with Anthony Richardson because at the end of the day, he's not the popular opinion. A lot of people going to boo or laugh at that kind of pick. But if you look at the NFL draft and what the NFL draft is designed for, it's
Hold
for
on,
what?
hold on, hold on. Let me stop you right there. Why would people be laughing at that pick at that selection?
Because based off of the caliber of talent that's currently present in the NFL draft, CJ Stroud, Bryce Young, you know what I'm saying? Just
Right,
the two
guys
top
who
dogs, you know what I mean?
won at the college level,
Right.
basically.
If this NFL draft is just about Will Levis, excuse me, and Anthony Richardson, you know, and what's his name, Hendon Hooker,
Yeah,
then
out of
yeah,
Tennessee.
yeah, yeah, then
Yeah, I don't
definitely
know that much, but I did watch that. Watch
right.
him, act up. So
Yeah, so if that's the case, if they're the ones at the top of the class, then obviously it's a no brainer. But when you got those other two, obviously so you call them studs, you know what I'm saying? You got them in on the list. It makes the
so
decision
so who they got
difficult.
ahead of him? So which quarterbacks are being slaughtered ahead of him right now? So you
Which
got
one ahead
I
of
know
Anthony Richardson?
Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud.
Right.
Uh,
That honestly,
uh,
that's really the only two that is ahead of him. To be real with you, you know what I mean? Because I mean, there's been some movement with Will Levis. They said he moved up a lot. You know what I'm saying? So that could potentially, if you look at the charts, in Vegas, you know what I'm saying, he overjumped Anthony Richardson there. But still, at the end of the day, I think nothing has changed really, in my opinion, if you look at the news and the things that the head coach has been saying about, what I'm saying, Anthony Richardson. He loves Anthony Richardson. He said that himself. He wants Anthony Richardson. And then you look at the brass themselves, they've been studying everybody. They didn't just say it's just gonna be Bryce Young and the CJ Stroud race, they put them, Anthony Richardson and Will Levis into the conversation. So with that being said, they have just as much opportunity as the two that we just previously mentioned.
right. Yeah, because these it's gonna be hard, because to convince, Anthony Davis. It's
Anthony
gonna be hard
Richardson?
to justify choosing a guy who's slotted at what? No, what is Minnesota picking at number 10 or 7, something like that?
No, we're not talking.
So
We're talking about Carolina or
yeah, well, I'm saying Minnesota. They were saying that he was in the mock draft. They had Anthony Richardson at going down to Minnesota in the
oh,
draft.
okay,
So it's gonna be hard, to justify picking over two stud quarterbacks who won on the college level, despite Richardson, who down in Florida, they didn't even make the playoffs. They didn't make the playoffs, of course, and they didn't
no
even make
bowl.
no bowl games, anything like that. So and then and then you got other guys like Levis, who went about half the season before they lost a game in the
Mm,
SEC. And
right,
you also have the guy from Georgia, the quarterback Brock. I can't think of his name right now, but the quarterback out of Georgia seems to be the
right.
more polished one if you're looking to be safe. But I think he's going to be like a second or third round pick.
Well,
So, so
I just want to say this, like, if you look at Carolina itself and what they gave up to get the number one pick and where they currently sit as a team, they've added a lot of good pieces during this free agency, but they still have an opportunity to bang home some more in the draft. And so I'm not saying, that they're going to draft Anthony Richardson. I'm saying that I think for their organization, he would make the
right,
most sense. You know, given that the Red Rifle Andy Dalton is there, you can give him a year to learn behind Andy Dalton without rushing him. And if you do that, then you're able. We said the first. If you give it to me again, you said the first four picks in the draft is um Carolina's at number one. We got the Texans at two, and at three we got the. You said the who we got there?
Arizona.
We got Arizona sitting at number three, and it's already been clear that Arizona says that they want to add as many pieces through the draft as they can. So
Yeah,
they also are
they definitely
missing.
ain't looking to pay anybody.
They're missing J.J. Watt. They're missing what's it, Jadavion Clowney. They haven't had a perennial all-star pass rusher in a long time. They currently have Kyler Murray. If they can get through the contract toss, it doesn't really make a lot of sense for those guys to even look
Right.
at the quarterback. So they can
Right.
switch picks with Carolina. Carolina could still move down to number three.
Right.
They could still let the Cardinals move to number one. Cardinals could probably end up taking maybe
Will Anderson
Will Anderson.
out of
You see what I'm
Alabama. Yeah.
saying? They could probably take Will Anderson, and then coming behind them, the Texans. Honestly, this is puzzling too because it's a possibility the Texans they might even like Sam Mills enough. They might not even want to quarterback themselves, and they could probably end up picking another piece right there that could blow a lot of people's mind, and that could let Carolina go down to number three. Now they don't take Anthony Richardson at a number one pick, but they get pieces when they do make that trade with Arizona. Get another pick from you guys. They get the number one pick. They get the pick that they really, really, really want really bad. You know what I'm saying? If they decide to choose a quarterback, they can get the Bryce Young quarterback that they want to replace Kyler Murray since they're comfortable with taking small quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying? I just don't really see Carolina taking a quarterback, like Bryce Young. I see the hype, I hear it. I just don't see it with his stature. I see them
Right.
taking CJ Stroud faster. You see what I'm saying? But with all this scare with CJ Stroud's name, now I'm not adding to it, but I'm just saying I heard it too. Everybody sees it, by this time. But if that doesn't hurt his name, then maybe Carolina still be interested. But either way, I think that Carolina has a prime chance to move down, gain another chip, and then still get Anthony Richardson. And we're talking about a phenomenal player. Getting back to my point that I mentioned earlier, if you the NFL draft, the combine is for what? It's to see the player with the biggest measurements. You know what I'm saying? The highest. That's what they're looking for. So if that's what we measuring, then guess who won that from a QB standpoint? That's Anthony Richardson, hand down. And he didn't have a chance to play behind some of the offensive line that Bryce Young did and
CJ
CJ
Stroud.
Stroud did. You know what I mean? And given the history in Carolina, how the offense, how they already run, and then Frank Wright, he's used to an Andrew Luck type quarterback. You know what I mean? And then you look at the running backs coach they just hired, Deuce Staley. You know, and I
Oh,
think I
oh
think
yeah, the
right
guy from the Rams, huh?
from Detroit, from Detroit. You know what I mean?
Okay,
I
okay.
think when you look at those pieces that's in place, and then you look at that cryptic message that just came out the other day. I don't know if you have that when I shared it with you the other day, but you know, the GM Scott Fitter, they said they're giving the head coach Frank Wright, you know, to say so with the pick. So that's so, based off of what he's been saying, he's in love with Anthony Richardson. Based off of, hey man, don't be surprised. That's all I'm saying. You know,
Yeah, man. So they definitely. Yeah, I won't be surprised because Arizona is entertaining trading out of that third spot. So I think you on to something as far as that.
right?
But Carolina, yeah, I wouldn't go with Bryce Young. I mean, he's too little really to see over the line. So, I mean, let's. I mean, I'm not doubting the talent. The talent is there. You got guys like Kyler Murray who proved that they could be a top tier
Mm-hmm.
quarterback in the league. So I'm with you on that. But far as what I've been seeing in the Twitter, I think on your Twitter I followed you. I see that clip you had of Anthony Richardson.
Mm, yeah.
Man, it's hard. Oh man,
How did you not want that? You know what I mean?
man, damn, that's crazy. That's hard to. Man, I know teams gonna be kicking themselves if you're right, Carolina pick them or whoever
Yeah,
gets them, the other team's gonna really they might as well just go ahead and resign, man. Because
yeah.
after seeing that, I mean, he didn't
Mm,
even really take a step. He just threw it off the back of off his backbone,
right.
just off his yeah, just he just threw that. I don't know how far it went, but it looked like it went to the end zone, man, from the 20-yard line.
Man, that
That was
thing
crazy.
like he sent that thing up to the heavens, man. I was like, wow. I was like, that's he barely
Wow,
put effort into that, you know? And you
wow,
look
that was
you look
crazy.
you look at things like that and you have to ask yourself, you know what I'm saying? When you look at these quarterbacks that's in this draft, you know, Bryce Young obviously is a talented quarterback, you know. But
Yeah,
my thing
game.
is this league, this isn't college, and these guys, man, when they get to you, you know, they get to you, they pound on top of you, and these them smaller frames, man, they take a beating. You know, look at your boy right there in Arizona. You know, he's taking the beating. You know, look at Russell Wilson, he's taking the beating. You know what I'm saying? These guys, they take a beating. You know what I mean? So the better the quarterback, I feel like anyway, like if you look at the NFL in general, the traditional quarterback is being gone away with anyway. I mean, you look at
Right. They into dual threat quarterbacks.
dual threat quarterbacks. Look at Josh Allen. You know what I'm saying? Look at Jalen Hurts. You see what I'm saying? Look at those big, muscular, you know, strong, you know, taller type body frames that can get after it if we can't get that ball through the air. You know what I mean? I think
Hmm
that's what a lot of, you know, teams look for. And
That's
Carolina
the
has
wave,
missed.
man. That's definitely the wave. That's the feature. And then if you look down in Carolina, not too far, you got
Right.
Drake May coming out. He's gonna be the number one quarterback. They're already saying that he could be better than Aaron Rodgers, no problem.
That's
Right now,
crazy.
they saying
That's
right
crazy.
now.
Aaron Rodgers is a really elite talent. So to be compared to him, you know what I'm saying? You got to have some smoke with you. You know what I mean? So, but we'll see
Yeah.
how that.
So I don't know what Carolina got up the sleeve if they were like, I wouldn't if they pass on Anthony Richardson and trade down. I think I know why. It's because of next year. Drake May.
Drake
Just
May.
saying, something to think about. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, like I'm telling you, man. Regardless what happens, even if they stay put, you know what I'm saying, they can shock everybody and take him at number one overall. It's not like it's a far-fetched far cry to see him go number one overall. You know what I'm saying? Because he's definitely a talent that's worth overall. I would take him number one overall if I was the GM straight up. You know, after looking at film and looking at tape and looking at certain things, you know what I'm saying? Come on, you know, it's a no brainer. It's a no
To
brainer,
me,
man.
to me, yeah, you're gonna win with that quarterback. You're gonna get some production like you get from Jalen Hurts.
And you
But
see, you see the off.
if it was me, I'm trying to trade my number one pick to I'm just predicting I would try to predict who's gonna be the sorriest team next year, and that's how I want to trade my number one overall pick to. Because
Well, I mean,
I'm doing whatever. I'm trying to stock low. I'm trying to stockpile on those number one. Just I need the number one overall pick, the lottery picks for Drake May next year. I'm telling you, Drake May can do the same thing that these other guys can do, running the ball, but he's way better at passing than anybody. You can't teach IQ. You can watch film, real time IQ. I mean, you just can't teach it, bro. It just don't come overnight. Sure, you gain it as the years go on, progress, but nah, no, not Drake May got intangibles, man.
yeah.
Yeah, he's special, man. He's special, man.
I think we'll have to
He
see
Peyton
when
Manning on the run, dude.
I think we'll have to see when we cross that bridge, man. But I'm telling you, this year right here is a really special year because this draft, man, we got some elite talent regardless coming out this thing.
Yeah,
You
this
know,
dude Anthony Richardson, whoever get him, man, they're gonna be thrilled. I'm telling you. Like he
yeah,
said, he's an alien. He definitely is as far as ability. I
yeah.
mean, he can make it happen on his feet. Definitely.
I, I
He can
think I
make the
do.
things happen.
Yeah, I do think he's the best fit in Carolina. If you look at their offense and how it's set up, I mean, you got Miles Sanders in the backfield. There's no Christian McCaffrey back there. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We seen Miles Sanders' production in Philadelphia, so we know what he can do. You know what I'm saying? You take another, quarterback like that, they can add more yards behind that. Plus, we got a promising receiver in Terrence Marshall Jr. and we have a nice. He got a nice blanket. Anthony Richardson. We have a nice blanket in Adam Thielen. I mean, wow. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
I think Carolina could be a
Shit, well,
surprising
you talking
offense this
Steve
year.
Steve Smith gonna have to come out of retirement.
And
No,
now, I
I'm
mean,
just playing.
I'm sure, I'm sure Smitty good. Agent 89, he good right where he at. But I mean, man,
I have to
it's
come get him a chip. Yeah, but hey, man. So that sound, hey, we'll see, man. Tomorrow we're gonna come back in and follow up. I might be able to pull this thing up live and just follow it live, and we could just, chop it up in between draft picks.
okay.
So,
Yeah, I'm here
while
for it
you're on the
all.
clock. Yeah, man, we just coming in a little light work, but Raw Sports Radio, man, appreciate you coming through. Appreciate you checking out the video. Most of all, man, you, my man Aspen, man, coming through, dropping the knowledge on us. Man, if you haven't by now, go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe, and man, we'll see you on the next video. We out of here, man. Salute.